Hello, I'm Dean Scoggins, and we're here to talk about the story that is dominating the back page and the front page of the newspaper this morning, and that is, of course, Marcus Rashford. Phoned in sick, didn't turn up for Manchester United's training after missing the game in midweek, been partying out in Ireland, and now Manchester United have said the matter is closed. Now, for us, obviously, the matter isn't closed. What do they do next? Do they cash in? Do they put their arm around the player? I'm here with Jordan Davies, one of our sports reporters, to debate that. And so, Jordan, they've got to get rid of him now, haven't they?
No, not in my opinion. Manchester United are a club that, throughout history, have given support to players like this. We know that Marcus Rashford is not a bad person at heart. We've seen all the charity work he's done. We've seen his work in politics for the last 18 months, and we don't want to keep harping back to the Fergie years, but Man United as a club, they show class and respect to players. We see the likes of Roy Keane and Eric Cantona, Rio Ferdinand, all of them had an arm round them, brought them back, and we saw pretty much the best times of their career. That should be the case for Marcus Rashford.
A bit similar to Wayne Rooney in this sense as well, where Wayne Rooney's off-field excursions, shall we say, similar to this sort of thing?
Similar, and Sir Alex Ferguson may have said things to him behind the scenes, but in public he was only very supportive, and Marcus Rashford reacts well to being supported. Gareth Southgate has got the very best out of him in an England shirt by supporting him and putting an arm round him. If Gareth Southgate was a manager of Manchester United, maybe the likes of Jadon Sancho and Harry Maguire Jadon Sancho would still be at the club and Harry Maguire would still be in form. So I think the question marks need to be at the manager rather than the player. Yes, Marcus Rashford needs to be questioned for his actions, but he needs to be fully supported, because it was only a year ago that actually he was in fine form and we were saying what a great player is, so that it shouldn't have changed that much. All he needs is that bit of support, and we should see the best from him.
But this isn't the first time, is it? This isn't the first time they've had a problem with his timekeeping, where he was late for a team meeting, albeit apparently only by a few seconds. But obviously Ten Hag's very strict on that. And then also the partying after getting thumped in the Manchester derby last year. So this isn't a first offence, and obviously 12-hour tequila parties, we should really be talking about shots on target rather than shots in the bar for Marcus Rashford. And this performance this season is back to where we were the season before, where everyone was questioning his attitude, and you know, his body language is just not good at the moment either.
No, I do agree, and you're absolutely right. This isn't the first time, but a player like this, in my opinion, doesn't act like this if he feels fully supported by a manager. Erik ten Hag has had issues, not just with Rashford, with a lot of players in the squad. And if you're a player that feels settled, feels secure, feels at home at a club, at his boyhood club, then I don't think he would be acting like this. Now, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes with Marcus, but I think questions need to be asked more of Erik ten Hag. It's his responsibility, his duty as manager of this club to make sure a player like him, an asset to Man United, performs well. He's not performing well and he's having off-the-field issues. That comes down to the manager.
Now, he could be worth 70, 80, 90, 100 million if we look at Harry Kane. And Martin Lipton, our chief football reporter, very much thinks this could be a boost to FFP if Ineos were to sell right now.
Something is wrong with Marcus Rashford. It's clear to everybody. The boy needs help. But something is wrong between Manchester United and Marcus Rashford as well. And that means Manchester United must start to consider the unthinkable, to get rid of one of their true homegrown stars. Why? Well, first of all, consistency. Look at the way they dealt with Jadon Sancho this season. You know, he was ostracised, he was banished, and eventually sent packing back to Borussia Dortmund. To return to United? Unlikely. So if you treat Sancho like that, when he doesn't behave, when he doesn't do what you want, when he doesn't perform, then you treat Rashford just the same. After all, it's not as if he's pulling up any trees this season. Look at the numbers. 4 goals in 25 appearances. Last year, he scored 30 in 50. An essential player? Not really. He's just not doing enough. He's not in the right frame of mind. He's getting frustrated. The crowd are getting frustrated. And there's also strong financial reasons for deciding it's time for a change. If you sell Rashford this summer, he's going to be worth 70, 80, 100 million. That's good in itself. But because he's a homegrown player, this is pure profit for Manchester United. And it would give them a substantial war chest in FFP terms. They'd be able to spend far, far more. £100 million player effectively gives you the right to sign players for £400 million if you give them 5-year contracts. Rashford looks like a player who needs a fresh start. Manchester United definitely need a fresh start. They're going nowhere. Cash in this summer, sell Rashford, start again.
Okay, that's a very important point that Martin raises, and at a time where FFP is right at the forefront of everyone's minds. And for me, it's not just about the money, it's about the message it sends. You know, Marcus Rashford has been at the club since he was 7 years old. He's supposed to be the sort of pinnacle of Manchester United. He should be the poster boy for everything that is there. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe, we know, is a ruthless businessman. He's got Dave Brailsford there watching everything that's going on at the moment. And for me, it's time for the broom to be swept through Old Trafford. Not just Marcus Rashford, Varane, Casemiro, they were poor signings and bad signings. And you add to that possibly even Bruno, and it's time for them to press the reset button. And look, if they can raise somewhere in the region of 100 million for Marcus Rashford, then perhaps, you know, that's then time for them to rebuild.
What I would say there is that you're very right about sending a message, but what you're also sending a message is that we can't control our young talent. We can't control homegrown. We can't make them the best players they can be. And what I would add as well is that if Rashford was on the market right now, not at Manchester United, a young-ish, 26, England international, Ratcliffe and Brailsford would be looking at him as a target for Man United. He's already in the building. He would cost far too much money to get rid of a player like that when you have him, when you have the capabilities in your squad, just to get the best out of him. It makes no sense to me why they get rid of him.
And you look ahead to the summer as well, and Marcus Rashford should be flying down the wing and scoring goals for England in the Euros. Now, this surely puts a question mark over that as well. You know, the England front three, we would have loved to have seen Bukayo Saka and Rashford one side and Kane up the middle, with Foden and Bellingham flying in behind as well. Now, Marcus Rashford has got to find some form, and Manchester United have got to help him in order to get England ready for the Euros.
Yeah, it's vital, but what I would say as well is that Gareth Southgate is known to have his favourites. He's known to support players and to pick them even when they're not playing well. You think of the likes of Harry Maguire as well in that. I feel as though Marcus Rashford's form would have to dip even more so for Gareth to even consider not picking him. I think he really rates him and sees him as a vital part of a squad. But you're absolutely right. If his form does dip even further, or he's dropped for the next couple of weeks by Erik ten Hag, then that's a real issue.
So there are question marks there. Tell us what you think. Comment, like, share with us below, and stay with us for Sun Sport for all the latest on the Marcus Rashford issue.